I think it did shock me a little bit at first because I knew she was going down to have a procedure done, and it sounded like it was going to be no big deal. We knew it was melanoma, but we thought it was just going to be removing it, and that was it. And then I got a call from my brother who told me at that point they thought it had spread to lymph nodes, and I remember definitely being in shock. You know, I went through a lot the next morning on the road even I think I vacillated back and forth between really trusting God with it and feeling a peace at times, but then also times where the emotions caught up with me. I think a way that God really showed us He was with us in a very, I guess, physical form for us through mutual friends. Found out that he was planning on driving down to meet his wife, who was just finishing up radiation at MD Anderson, and she thought she was going to be okay to drive back. She was weaker than they thought she was going to be, and so she needed him to drive back with her. And it just so happened that he needed to go down to drive back with her the same day that I was heading down with the kids to be there for one of my mom's treatments. And there was something about riding down together, just knowing we were both facing something hard, but also knowing we both found hope in Christ that was just so encouraging. And we knew it wasn't a coincidence. We knew that God had put us together to remind us that we weren't alone in this.
When you guys get stressed out and get overwhelmed and have all these little crises and big crises in your life, what do you do to come down, to relax, and get focused, centered again?
I think we try to figure out where to put our arms. You know, we try to... I don't know where to put my arms, but A Purpose-Driven Life, I think the first few words in the book are, it's not about you. And I'm convinced, not easy, I'm not saying the emotion and the sadness that comes along with finding out those things is not heavy, but there is an incredible comfort in recognizing that what I believe is that He's going to glorify Himself, that He will be glorified in whatever it is, and surrendering to that, there's an incredible amount of peace there for me.
I think one thing that's easy to do is to run ahead in your mind of what's going to happen and what it's going to look like. And I think I really saw that tendency when we would start going to the doctor visits with my mom, and I would think we were going to finally get answers and find out exactly what was going on and what we were looking at and what the treatment plan was. And there were several visits where we just got maybe a piece of information, or sometimes they just said we need to run further tests. We haven't figured this out yet. And I realized that I needed to rest in God's grace for today and what He's given me today. And it made me think about how there was a period of time where the Israelites were given food directly from God, and He gave them what they needed for each day, but not beyond that. And He wanted them to trust Him and His provision for that day. And so I think for me, it's just really important to trust what God has given me for today to get through today, and to not focus on the what ifs of tomorrow and not let my mind wander too far into what that can look like.
You know, I would also say one thing that we learned a long time ago through a very interesting set of circumstances is that decisions made in fear are not decisions influenced by the Spirit. So, because fear is cast out when we are filled and when we're surrendered. And so I know fear can grip. It has gripped us. I mean, freezes us all up. And so I think, to answer your question, my advice to somebody would be, keep going. Keep pursuing the Lord. Keep doing your day thing. Keep in your routine. Experience His beauty. Live in a much larger story than what that deal in the moment does to you. Surrender, accept His grace, then and keep going. And certainly not as any kind of crutch or spiritual psychological trick. It's about true relationship that brings peace.